Kentucky is joining a growing list of states removing Confederate statues. Find out where the statue of Jefferson Davis is moving to. And supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement protest tonight in an eastern Kentucky town.
The sunshine and comfortable conditions continue as we head into the weekend. I'll have a look at that weekend forecast right now at 6.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening again, I'm Will Puckett. The statue of Confederate President Jefferson Davis will be removed from the state capitol rotunda. An 11-1 vote this afternoon determined the statue will be taken down and moved. WYMT's Phil Pendleton reports from the Capitol tonight, where work is already starting.
He rebelled against the United States of America.
Meeting virtually on Zoom, the Kentucky Historic Properties Advisory Commission, called by Governor Andy Beshear, to consider the removal of the statue that's been in the state capitol since the late 1930s. The vote was 11-1 to remove it. It was a bipartisan vote, and both Republicans and Democrats told us today they were in support of it.
We need to learn from Jefferson Davis. We need to learn from all the sins of our past, no doubt about it, but not in this space. And so I'm happy that this is a wonderful day, that in a way, Abraham Lincoln will not have to look over his right shoulder anymore at Jefferson Davis behind him.
Today is a move towards showing that everybody is welcome in this building and that our government should work for the betterment of every single Kentuckian.
That was WYMT's Phil Pendleton reporting. Only one person voted against the removal of the statue, saying he joined the commission board to protect history and not remove it. Well, tonight in Whitesburg, the community will be gathering for a peaceful protest to show their support for the Black Lives Matter movement. It does not start for another 30 minutes, but WYMT's Emily Bennett is in Whitesburg tonight to give us a preview of this event. Emily, good evening.
Good evening. Well, yes, here in Whitesburg, the police have Main Street blocked off in front of the Letcher County Courthouse in preparation for a vigil for Brianna Taylor and a protest to show support to the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, this event will start off with several speakers, including Senate candidate Charles Booker and local musician Nick Jamerson. They will then march down Main Street to City Hall, where they will pay their respects to Brianna Taylor and end by marching back to the courthouse for a moment of silence and a prayer. One of the organizers, Deja Hogg, wanted to host this event to show this community is not exempt from the racial inequality throughout the world.
Around this town, it's a lot of unspoken racism, and so we mainly want to protest for that in hopes that if we protest for that now, we won't have to protest for something, worse later, like police brutality in this town.
Now, Main Street and East Main Street are blocked off, and they will be until 8:30 tonight. Now, organizers say they just want this to stay peaceful. They just want people to come and listen to the speaker's stories. In Whitesburg, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
All righty, Emily, thank you. Well, tomorrow night, the Black Lives Matter movement is making its way to Prestonsburg. A peaceful gathering will take place at the city's main stage to demand change. Organizers say the group will meet at the stage and hear from guest speaker Charles Booker before marching around the city streets. Mayor Les Stapleton says he and the city's first responders are prepared to lend a hand. A peaceful gathering will take place at the city's main stage, again to demand change.
It's not a protest, it's not a riot, it's nothing like that. So we don't need any of that stuff. We don't need people thinking that stuff. We don't need people saying that stuff. What we need is people to understand they have a right to be heard, and we'll give them that opportunity to be heard.
The rally starts at 6:39 p.m. and will include payee and personal testimony. Well, a man is in jail following an incident at the Black Lives Matter event in Moorhead last weekend. According to WMKY in Moorhead, Marty Horton was yelling racial slurs and using inappropriate hand gestures. Authorities received a complaint from a restaurant about Horton, and he was later pulled over. Horton is facing charges including DUI, disorderly conduct, and assault on a corrections employee. He is currently on probation and may face additional charges. Well, today the public was invited to say their goodbyes to David McAtee. 53-year-old McAtee was shot and killed on June 1st. The National Guard, along with the LMPD, were called to disperse a crowd in Louisville. State investigators believe McAtee fired 2 shots and was then killed when a guardsman returned fire. The public viewing is today at St. Stephen Church in Louisville until 8. The funeral is set for tomorrow at Cannon Christian Church. Well, this afternoon, Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher signed Brianas Law, which bans no-knock warrants after the death of Brianna Taylor. The series of police reforms was passed by Metro Council last night and officially became law around 2:30 this afternoon. As the bill passed last night, the group of protesters in Jefferson Square erupted into cheers and applause. Mayor Fisher saying this afternoon that change is here and more change is coming.
Thank you to those whose emphatic cries of enough have fueled the marches, the protests, the movement, sweeping our country, sweeping our city, have filled the streets of America and helped bring us to this moment.
Now, Fisher says the passage of Brianas Law is just one small victory in the fight for justice, peace, and equality. Well, let's head back out to the state capitol. As others say they are in favor of seeing the statue taken out of the Capitol Rotunda, a handful of people protested the removal outside of the Capitol. New at 6 tonight, Victor Puente explains why they think the statue should not be moved.
Even before the Historic Properties Advisory Committee voted to remove the statue of Jefferson Davis, protester Ron King knew he was fighting a losing battle.
This is a done deal. I'm out here. I already know it's a done deal. And I'm still out here voicing my opinion and stuff because it's not right. There was no public hearings. This was announced beforehand.
King came from Estill County to protest that removal. These 3 came from Corbin. They told me they had ancestors who fought in the Civil War. They didn't agree with that statue coming down. I asked King about the Capitol Rotunda being a place of honor.
Honor comes from a lot of things, and one of the things that honor is derived from is standing up for your beliefs. People that stand up for their beliefs have respect, they have honor.
Shortly after that vote, Adrian Wallace with the Kentucky chapter of the NAACP told me this was a move they had been wanting to see for years.
We praise Governor Beshear for his decision to remove Jefferson Davis from the Capitol's Rotunda. It was put there in 1936 as a point to rewrite history, to intimidate blacks in Kentucky, and it should have never been there. He was a traitor to this nation. And we celebrate the removal.
The statue was put in place more than 70 years after the Civil War. Wallace says they applaud the move, but also asked the governor for changes to state policy.
We will also say that we still want to see other true change, and that includes the executive order request that we sent this week, asking him to allow for civilian oversight of police misconduct in the Commonwealth.
In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
The statue will be moved to the Jefferson Davis State Historic Site in Todd County in western Kentucky. It is not known when it will be moved there.
Saw the beautiful weather return once again today. It's just been a really nice day out there. If you haven't gone out and enjoyed it yet, please make sure to do so, and you'll have plenty of chances heading into the weekend. We'll go ahead and take you out to some of those cameras as we look over into Pikeville along US 119. US 23, a few clouds throughout the day, but overall, it's just been a really nice day throughout the mountains. US 119, US 23 up the road just towards Jenkins. You'll notice lots of sunshine over there, not looking a whole lot different, and we're going to continue to see those gorgeous conditions heading into tonight. Of course, it's a little bit on the warmer side right now, upper 70s to lower 80s. Cool spot in Wise, though, at 72 degrees right now. But like I said, we don't have any humidity out there, so not feeling too bad. Temperatures look to drop into about the upper 50s to lower 60s tonight with those mostly clear skies, and we're going to see those clear skies continue into tomorrow. More sunshine, really perfect weather for your Saturday. We're going to continue to see the sunshine for your Sunday and Monday. However, we'll add in just a few stray rain chances. I'll have more details on that coming up in a little bit.
All righty, Paige. Thank you. Well, a Kentucky teen who pleaded guilty to killing 2 schoolmates in a 2018 school shooting has been ordered to serve 2 life sentences. Gabe Parker was sentenced via teleconference by Marshall County Circuit Judge James Jamison on Friday afternoon. Media outlets report Parker will also receive 70 years in prison for 14 counts of assault and will be eligible for parole in 20 years. Parker was 15 when he fired a handgun into a crowd of students before class started at Marshall County High School. He was tried as an adult. Well, a Southern Kentucky man is accused of destroying medical equipment. Deputies say Sean Barnett was being taken home from the Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital. He refused to get out of the ambulance and began threatening EMTs. He was arrested for the threats while EMTs were transporting Barnett to the jail. Deputies say he broke $20,000 worth of medical equipment. He is charged with terroristic threatening, criminal mischief, and other charges. Well, Junior's Hibachi in Hazard is helping out a local woman who is battling cancer. Sherry Mullins is in week 2 of 6 of her treatments for astrocytoma, a form of brain cancer. To help with her medical expenses, Junior's Hibachi held a dinner and bake sale in Hindman to raise money for Mullins. The restaurant sold $10 meals and baked goods to help raise the funds for the woman who helped them get their start.
We couldn't have all this for her, and then we just wanted to give back. And I found out all that stuff happened, and we just wanted to get back to her and try to help her out and make our part and just do what we could, try to raise some money for her and her family.
100% of the profit from the fundraiser will go to Sherry's medical expenses. Well, you do not have much time left to request your absentee ballot here in Kentucky. Monday is the last day to request one. It is highly recommended Kentuckians vote by absentee ballot this year because of the pandemic. Secretary of State Michael Adams says he is working to get extra funding to help make processing the ballots quicker. If you do not get your ballot in time, you can still vote in person. You can request a ballot online at govoteky.com. Kentucky's primary is set for June 23rd. Well, we know when students at Alice Lloyd College may return to classes this fall. President Joe Stepp sent out a letter to faculty, staff, and students saying the school will reopen August 18th and continue through November 25th. To make up for a shortened semester, there will not be any fall break.
And that sunshine continues heading into the weekend. However, we could see just a few stray rain chances. I'll have a look at that weekend forecast coming up.